Welcome back to the channel. My name is Ryan, and today we are discussing Oregon State's football schedule for the 2023 season. This is right before the season's about to start for college football in general, but it's not going to start until the following weekend on September 3rd, which is a Sunday for Oregon State. And they got a big accusation this year, which is DJ Uiagalelei. He was coming from Clemson. He started, I'm pretty sure, for a year or 2 years at Clemson. And since Cade Klubnik just looked like he was going to be the better quarterback for Clemson, he left and got himself to Oregon State, which is very much a conference that has a lot of good quarterbacks like Caleb Williams, Bo Nix, Michael Penix. They just had Dorian Thompson-Robinson be drafted. You have Cam Rising. So they have a lot of good quarterbacks in this conference. So hopefully it performs like a good one. And we have Bo Nix that he didn't look great at Auburn. He looked solid. He had some moments. But then he showed out his full potential, it looks like, at Oregon, and he's showing how good he is. So, with DJ Uiagalelei, hopefully this offense can get a good pass game going. And one thing to mention, last year they had probably I'm pretty sure the best defense in the whole Pac-12, which is a big thing for them. They slowed down USC, but they did lose a good amount of the defensive production from their side. There was a starter from last year. But if you have a good format and you have a good system, good coaching on the defensive side of the ball and offensive side of the ball, you will be able to perform at a good level. Maybe not as good as last year's, but to a substantial level that would be a good thing for the team to keep winning games. But let's get into the schedule right now. First up, you're on the road against San Jose State. So in San Jose State, I was doing some research when discussing the week 0 matchups. They're actually undefeated at home last time, so don't just count out San Jose State. But I'm still going to give this win to Oregon State. I think Oregon State will get a win in this one because I like how the run game is. They did run through Oregon last year in the year, and they absolutely annihilated Florida. I know Florida had a lot of backups, but they're SEC level backups, and they beat them by 27. They almost shut them out. And then you're at home versus UC Davis. You're going to beat UC Davis. You're at home again versus San Diego State. San Diego State used to be really good. Now they're not looking great. And that's kind of between. I got Oregon State winning this one. So right now you're 3-0, and then you're starting your conference play at Washington State. Don't just take this team too lightly. But you did beat them last year, and I think you'll beat them again this year. So I got you going 4-0 right now. Then you're playing Utah. Utah, you got destroyed by them last year. It was not close, but I was on the road, and Utah is notoriously great at home. Will that make a difference in this one that it's at Oregon State? I think it's going to be a very much of a close game. Could go back and forth during some times, but I got Utah edging this one out. So I got Oregon State dropping this one first L of the year. So it was a very good start to the year. Lost a tough one against Utah. Then you're bouncing back and you're going to California. I got you beating Cal. And then you're at home versus UCLA. I think this one's going to be a very close game. I could definitely see this one going either way in general because I love how UCLA is playing. I think UCLA might be able to upset them in this one. But being at home is a huge thing in these type of games. And Oregon State, they've shown to be good at home. They've shown to keep games close at home. And because of that, I'm going to give this win to Oregon State. I would not be surprised if UCLA does upset them. But I think Chip Kelly's offense is very good. But without Dorian Thompson-Robinson, I'm no certified quarterback that's going to be like, okay, he's going to be an electrifying star. Definitely someone could show up. I forgot the quarterback's name that they have right now. Show up a picture of him, and the name. But I know what Oregon State can be. I know what they possibly could be, and they were. So I'm going to rely on that a little bit more than what missing a quarterback would do. And again, you don't know how good DJ Uiagalelei is going to actually play for this team. He can be very good for them. He showed some pretty good signs at Clemson, not consistently, but he showed some good signs. Bo Nix did. But different type of quarterback. DJ Uiagalelei is more of a bigger, can step out of the pocket, make some good reads. Bo Nix is more of a wild card. And that still shows at Oregon, but he has more time at Oregon, a little bit less physical, but it's more explosive. And if his offense just fits very well for him. Next up, you're at Arizona. I think you're going to beat Arizona. So right now, you're looking actually pretty good at this moment of time. I think you're I think I have you being 7-1 right now. And again, this schedule is not that hard. Two. You missed a huge opponent against USC. And most of your tough games are going to be actually at home. That's a huge thing to have in your favor. So home games you're not going to take lightly. And especially in these type of games that are pretty big games, having this home field advantage is going to be huge with your chances comes to winning these games. Next one you're at Colorado. And Colorado is Deion Sanders. You got Shedeur Sanders. You got Travis Hunter, which is going to be one of the best quarterbacks in the country, probably in the conference too. And next, I think this game is not going to be that close because I think Oregon State has a very good experience. I think they're a little bit more mature. This is their first year of Colorado, this bunch, because a lot of people did leave the transfer portal because Deion Sanders brought so much new talent in that's just going to be better than them. So it's going to be it'll be tough for them to stay. I think this team chemistry is good for Colorado, but Oregon State has proven success last year. I think they will continue it. So I got Oregon State winning this one against Colorado, and then you're at home versus Stanford. Stanford is not that good. So I got you beating Stanford. And again, the schedule was not super difficult when you look compared to other ones. Like compared to the USC schedule, they had to face everyone, and then Notre Dame too. So you had a really tough schedule and Notre Dame. They have really no tough out of that conference games. So a lot of these teams they're playing, they will be physical games. Oregon State can make them physical, but they need to work on their turnovers in the big moments, which I think DJ Uiagalelei, who's actually been in big games, really big experience, and has won some big games, will be very much up a part of that. He did have a lot of turnovers, but like Bo Nix, he had a good amount of turnovers at Auburn when he was in the SEC. Then he transferred up, and his turnovers went down. That's a big thing. And turnover is going to lose you games. You can never win games based off your ability to cause turnovers on your own side of the ball. You're never going to actually help your team out whenever you commit too many turnovers. You win games by getting turnovers. So hopefully DJ Uiagalelei calms down with that. But this is one of your biggest games of the year. You're 9-1 at this moment at home versus Washington. Last year, you barely lost to Washington, and it was at Washington. This offense on Washington is very much elite, but this Oregon State defense can also be very good, which I'm talking about. Defenses usually don't just fall off incredibly badly in 1 year. They don't. If they have a good system in place, they'll keep the system going, and the schemes will still be there. And again, not everyone is gone. Not everyone is. So this team will still be very good. I like Michael Penix, though. This offense is looking very good. The skill position looked very good too, Washington. This one is going to be extraordinarily close, in my opinion. I think this is probably one of the games of the week. But I've really debated this one when I was doing my Washington video and doing this one. It's super tough to win at Oregon State. Even USC had problems scoring against this team. And that's the one thing they did. But what made Oregon State lose that game was turnovers, mainly because the quarterback kept throwing turnovers. So if DJ Uiagalelei can keep that down, that's why I mentioned that so much, I think Oregon State would win. And I think DJ Uiagalelei, for one game, at least this one, will do that. I think this game is going to be more of who will make more mistakes than anything else. I got Oregon State riding this home crowd and actually winning. I am riding the Beaver bandwagon. I got them beating Washington. So right now you are you're a 10-1 in my opinion, going to Oregon, and this is when it gets a little tough on them because last year you were down by a lot against them, then stormed back with this run game. Oregon was terrible on fourth downs. I don't think Oregon State was that good either, but Oregon was terrible on much-needed conversions. And I was at Oregon State, and he still barely won. I don't think Bo Nix is going to do that. I don't think his offense will make those same mistakes. I got Dan Lanning actually not yet being better. Make sure his team's up here, not blowing those type of leads. And Oregon has lost some big games at home. They've also won some big games at home. So I think with this situation, I think they'll get the revenge from last year. I got Oregon winning this one, so I got Oregon State dropping this one. And because of that, I got Oregon State going 10-2 on the year. And if you go 10-2 at Oregon State, that's insane. That'd be insane. But again, the schedule is not super tough when you look at it. Because you start off the year pretty simple against 3 out-of-conference teams. You start off at Washington State in conference play. It's not almost a guaranteed 4-0 start. Utah is a very tough game. That's why I got you losing that. The Cal's pretty simple. UCLA can be very good, might not be. And then Arizona's pretty simple. Colorado, and then Stanford. So your tough games are not like back to back. It's not like other teams like USC that have them almost back to back on each other. No, or even Utah has that happen. No, that's not what happens with this team. You have breaks in between. You have times to rest up. So that's going to be huge for them. I think Oregon State's going to go 10-2. Yeah, put on the comments what you feel about this. And yes, I do think DJ Uiagalelei is actually pretty good with this team. Put on the comments what you feel about this. Hit the like button if you like this type of stuff. Subscribe. We'll be covering college football as much as we can. School's going on, but college football is important, arguably more important if you think about it like that. But it might just be a me thing. Yeah. Hope you all have a great day. Stay safe, y'all, and God bless y'all.